I'm fighting the scariest man in the division. Everybody's turning him down. That excites me. That doesn't scare me. That excites me. Because in my world, I'm going to beat him.
Countdown. Obviously, we had some changes in the fight in the last couple of days, but Ian is getting ready.
It's obviously really cool to see that there's, people flying around the world to sit down and talk to me and film me, and that kid that dreamt of being one of the greatest MMA fighters in the world is new opponent, new date, everything flipped on its head. That to me is exciting. I just love to fight, and this is an opportunity to go out there to prove that I am better than everyone believes and knows I am.
Good.
See, hands, touch. That's it, touch. There you go. Good, there you go.
Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Garry. What do you make of that matchup?
That's a great fight. Look, it's a great fight. Ian Garry for a long time has been saying that, he is the future. Obviously, it's his nickname. Like, he sees himself as being there with the belt. He's visualized it, but now he's got Makhachev in the division. And I mean, Makhachev's got the kryptonite for every single person in the division. No matter where the fight goes, he's got the skills to challenge you and to cause you issues.
He has a win over Carlos just over a year ago. It had to be him. He's had higher profile wins over bigger names.
I feel good about it. He's a well-known guy. He's very highly skilled, and I look forward to the challenge, So, yeah, no, Ian Garry, excuse me, if that's who they pick and that's who Islam wants, no problem. Bring him on the plate. No problem. We'll get ready for Ian Garry. So,
Ian Machado Garry is entering the final phase of his training camp as he prepares for the biggest fight of his career, a UFC title showdown against Islam Makhachev. With the championship bout fast approaching, every training session has taken on even greater importance. Garry is sharpening every aspect of his game, from refining his striking and strengthening his takedown defense to pushing his conditioning to its limits. Nothing is being left to chance as he fine-tunes every detail before stepping into the octagon. Garry fully understands the challenge ahead. Standing across from him will be one of the most dominant champions in the sport and a fighter many consider the current pound-for-pound best in the world. But despite the magnitude of the task, Garry's confidence hasn't wavered. He believes this is the opportunity he spent his entire career chasing, the moment to prove he belongs at the very top. Many believe Garry has the tools to challenge Makhachev. Whether he can pull it off remains to be seen, but there's no denying he'll enter the biggest fight of his life believing he has what it takes to become champion.
He can beat Islam. Now, I'm not predicting for you that he's going to, or we'll get to that as this fight gets closer, but I'm sharing for you he can. And Ian Garry is a pain in the ass. And this whole thing that he can't wrestle,
One of the biggest misconceptions surrounding Ian Machado Garry is the belief that he can't handle elite wrestling. Former UFC title challenger Chael Sonnen strongly disagrees. While Sonnen stopped short of predicting the outcome of the fight, he made it clear that Garry is far more dangerous than many fans are giving him credit for. According to Sonnen, Garry has already shown signs that he belongs among the sport's elite. He pointed to Garry's highly competitive performance against Shavkat Rakhmonov as proof that the Irish contender has the skills, composure, and fight IQ to compete at the highest level. In Sonnen's view, overlooking Garry simply because he's facing Islam Makhachev would be a serious mistake.
I don't want that to be what Garry's talking about. I want it to be fun starting now. I want him to go after it. I want him to get in his head. I want him to rattle him. I want Islam at the face-off to look away. Now, whether Islam does any of those things, right, it would just force Islam.
Sonnen believes Garry's performance answered one of the biggest questions surrounding his game. According to him, the idea that Ian Machado Garry can't wrestle or survive against elite grapplers simply doesn't match what he's already shown inside the octagon. He pointed out that Garry has proven he can stay composed under relentless grappling pressure without breaking mentally or technically.
Rather than being overwhelmed, Garry continued to compete against some of the division's strongest wrestlers, demonstrating the resilience and defensive skills needed to compete at the championship level. In Sonnen's view, that's exactly why Makhachev won't have an easy night if he expects Garry to fold once the fight hits the ground.
No one's able to get away from him. Very good standing up now. And he gets a hold of you, you're a Phil. He has a different kind of wrestling. His submissions are fucking insane, too. He's just got a vice grip, man.
I know.
Because when I would stand next to him in the octagon when he was the 55-pound champion, I'd be like, how?
Yeah.
How do you weigh 55? That doesn't even make any sense. You're 190 pounds right now.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. If I put you on a scale, you weigh 190. If Ian Garry can get off sharp.
Based on that performance, Chael Sonnen believes this title fight is far more competitive than many people are expecting. In his view, Ian Machado Garry has already shown enough to prove that he belongs in the championship conversation, making this a much tougher matchup for Islam Makhachev than many fans assume. Sonnen also believes Garry's strategy shouldn't begin when the cage door closes. It should start during fight week. He has suggested that Garry use interviews, press conferences, and face-offs to apply psychological pressure, attempting to get inside Makhachev's head before they ever step into the octagon. According to Sonnen, winning the mental battle early could become an important advantage once the fight finally begins.
Телефон, это все, не знаю, почему даже так резко это все поменялось. Но мы росли по-другому, и, например, знаешь, как если мы там говорили года 3-4 назад, как мы росли в Америке, для них это было чем-то таким нереальным. Но сейчас мы как-то стали ближе, что ли, к Западу, как там в школах примерно, не скажу, конечно, это большая разница.
The anticipation continues to grow as Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry move closer to their long-awaited clash inside the octagon. Chael Sonnen believes the battle could begin well before fight night, suggesting that a calculated dose of psychological warfare might tempt Makhachev into reacting emotionally. If that happens, it would add another intriguing layer to what is already shaping up to be one of the biggest championship fights of the year. Joe Rogan has also shared his thoughts on the matchup, calling Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Garry one of the most compelling stylistic battles the UFC can currently make. He praised Garry's size, footwork, striking, and unwavering confidence, while reminding fans that Makhachev has consistently dominated the division throughout his championship reign. Rogan pointed to Islam's elite wrestling, relentless pressure, and wealth of title fight experience as the qualities that make him one of the most difficult fighters in the sport to defeat. At the same time, he acknowledged that Garry's length, athleticism, and self-belief give him the tools to make the fight far more competitive than many people expect.
Long and he's so confident. And then Khabib came out and said, hey, Ian's a hard matchup for us. He's long, he moves well, he moves a lot. He's not going to go in there and get single leg easy dumped. He's going to scoot back, he's going to throw, and it's going to be a difficult fight. I'm excited. I'm actually Russia or Dagestan versus Ireland. This is an epic fucking fight, dude.
I think it's a huge fight too, and it just we got to enjoy it because I swear Islam probably got 2 fights left.
Yep,
2 fights, maybe even 1.
Joe Rogan believes that Ian Machado Garry has all the physical tools to make this a competitive fight, but he also acknowledges that dealing with Islam Makhachev's world-class grappling will be the toughest test of Garry's career. Neutralizing the champion's wrestling and maintaining control throughout 5 rounds is a challenge that has frustrated nearly every opponent Makhachev has faced. Away from the discussion surrounding the title fight, Makhachev recently reflected on how much the world has changed since he was growing up. The reigning champion explained that smartphones and social media have completely reshaped childhood, replacing many of the real-life experiences that defined his early years. In his view, today's generation has grown up in a very different environment, where technology plays a much larger role than it ever did during his upbringing.
Because Morales hasn't beaten anyone in the sport. He said he'd rather fight Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman has won 2 fights in the last 10 he's had. He said he'd rather fight Pratchett, a man who I beat. He'd rather fight anybody except me.
Now, okay, that is true. Makhachev did want different opponents. He did. However, I know you told your cameraman. I can't prove it! I literally can't prove it!
Despite recognizing how much technology has changed the modern world, Islam Makhachev also acknowledges the benefits it has brought. While he values the traditions and culture he grew up with, he believes today's connected world allows people to share ideas, learn from different cultures, and follow global events almost instantly. It's a completely different environment from the one he experienced as a child. Turning back to the fight itself, Sean O'Malley believes Ian Machado Garry presents one of the most unusual stylistic challenges Makhachev has faced in recent years. O'Malley pointed to Garry's height, reach, constant movement, and unwavering confidence as qualities that make him a dangerous opponent. He also noted reports that Khabib Nurmagomedov views Garry as a particularly difficult matchup because of his style. According to O'Malley, Garry's ability to manage distance, stay mobile, and avoid clean takedown entries could force Makhachev to solve problems he doesn't usually encounter. That's exactly why many believe a clash between Dagestan's dominant champion and Ireland's rising contender has all the ingredients of a memorable title fight. Ian Machado Garry himself has never underestimated the challenge ahead. He has openly admitted that Islam Makhachev is one of the toughest competitors in mixed martial arts today. But despite the respect he has shown, Garry remains convinced that this is the opportunity he's been waiting for. The chance to prove he belongs among the very best in the sport.
Machado Garry, what do you make of that matchup?
That's a great fight. Look, it's a great fight. Ian Garry for a long time has been saying that, you know, he is the future. Obviously, it's his nickname. Like, he sees himself as being there with the belt. He's visualized it, but now he's got Makhachev in the division. And, I mean, Makhachev's got the kryptonite for every single person in the division. No matter where the fight goes, he's got the skills to challenge you.
Ian Machado Garry has never hidden the respect he has for Islam Makhachev's championship pedigree. He recognizes the champion's elite wrestling, relentless pressure, and well-rounded skill set. But none of that has shaken his confidence. Garry understands that defeating Makhachev will require the best performance of his career, and that's exactly what motivates him. Instead of avoiding the toughest challenge available, he sees this fight as the perfect opportunity to prove he belongs among the UFC's elite. The MMA guru has also weighed in on Garry's recent comments, suggesting that some of his bold statements may be designed to generate attention as much as they reflect genuine belief. Even so, Guru credits Garry for doing an outstanding job of building excitement around the matchup. Through confident interviews, intense training footage, and relentless callouts, Garry has helped transform this championship bout into one of the most anticipated fights in MMA. Meanwhile, Islam Makhachev has continued preparing without distraction. Reports indicate the champion has spent time in Brazil sharpening his Brazilian jiu-jitsu alongside his already elite wrestling, adding yet another layer to his ground game. If those improvements translate into the octagon, Makhachev could enter this title fight even more complete than before.
Been spending time in Brazil, been working on his jiu-jitsu, he's going to be far more confident in his ground game. But at the same time, like, I don't know if you can be able to replicate what Islam Makhachev can do to you. I think you would have to be in the wrestling room in Dagestan to really feel that kind of pressure. And what you got to remember is, like, that room right now, we keep signing a bunch of guys from Khabib's team. They're all like.
Tim Welch offered a different perspective on the discussion, encouraging fans to look beyond the upcoming title fight. Instead, he suggested that MMA supporters should appreciate Islam Makhachev while they still have the chance, noting that the reigning champion may only have a handful of fights remaining before eventually stepping away from the sport. According to Welch, fighters of Makhachev's caliber don't stay at the top forever, which makes every title defense even more significant. Whether or not retirement is actually close, he believes fans should enjoy watching one of the sport's most dominant champions compete while he's still performing at the highest level.
Of the room and watches his wife get dogged out by the nutritionist.
Do you think Ian Garry's got a shot here to win the belt?
Yeah, definitely. He has a shot. He's a long, lanky fighter. Islam's getting a little older. Who knows Islam's motivation anymore? He wanted that big money matchup with Ilya, and now that matchup is gone. He's going to be a lot smaller than Ian, so
Many fans already consider Islam Makhachev one of the greatest mixed martial artists of his generation. With that reputation firmly established, every title defense now carries even greater significance, as each victory adds another chapter to what could become one of the most remarkable careers in UFC history. Dan Hardy believes a championship clash between Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry is among the most exciting matchups the UFC can make today. He points to Garry's unwavering confidence, explaining that the Irish contender has always carried himself like a future world champion. That self-belief has been a defining part of his rise through the ranks. At the same time, Hardy acknowledges the enormous challenge that awaits him. Makhachev possesses elite-level skills everywhere the fight can go, whether it's striking, clinch exchanges, wrestling, or grappling. In Hardy's opinion, that makes the reigning champion the toughest opponent Garry has ever faced. Hardy also highlighted the noticeable improvements Garry has made to his ground game after spending significant time training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Brazil. Those sessions, he believes, have helped transform Garry into a far more complete mixed martial artist than many critics realize. Even with those improvements, Hardy remains uncertain whether any fighter outside of Dagestan can truly prepare for the relentless pressure Makhachev brings into the octagon. According to him, the intensity and discipline developed inside the legendary training system established by Khabib Nurmagomedov are nearly impossible to replicate anywhere else, giving Islam an advantage that extends far beyond his physical abilities.
Garry, who do you think could win that one?
I mean, Islam is champion and he has a lot of experience. But I think Ian Garry has a chance.
Seriously?
Ian Garry has to stop these takedowns and striking Ian Garry's.
The conversation surrounding this championship fight continues to grow as more respected voices from the MMA world weigh in with their predictions. Former interim UFC champion Colby Covington also shared his thoughts, describing the stylistic matchup between Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry as one of the most intriguing fights the division has to offer. Covington praised Garry's confidence, precision striking, and willingness to take on the toughest challenges. However, he was quick to point out that facing Islam Makhachev is unlike facing anyone else in the UFC. According to Covington, Makhachev's combination of elite wrestling, relentless pressure, and championship experience creates a completely different challenge, one that very few fighters have been able to solve. While acknowledging Garry's talent and potential, Covington believes this fight will ultimately test every aspect of the Irish contender's game. Defeating a champion like Makhachev, he argues, requires far more than confidence. It demands near-perfect execution from the opening bell until the final round.
Good about it. He's a well-known guy. He's very highly skilled, and I look forward to the challenge, So, yeah, no, Ian Garry, excuse me, if that's who they pick and that's who Islam wants, no problem. Bring him on the plate, no problem. We'll get ready for Ian Garry.
Colby Covington believes Islam Makhachev's elite wrestling, relentless pressure, physical strength, and championship experience combine to make him one of the most difficult fighters to beat in all of mixed martial arts. In his view, if Ian Machado Garry wants to leave with the UFC title, he'll have to deliver an almost flawless performance from the opening bell to the final horn. Michael Bisping shares a similar perspective, but expects Garry to test the champion far more than many fans anticipate. While Bisping believes Makhachev will stick to his trademark game plan of constant forward pressure and dominant wrestling, he doesn't see this as a straightforward title defense. According to Bisping, Garry's height, reach, movement, and unpredictable striking make him a uniquely challenging opponent. Those attributes could force Makhachev to solve problems he hasn't encountered in many of his recent fights, setting the stage for a far more competitive championship battle than many are expecting.
He's rangy, he's tricky, all those, but on the ground, he does okay, but he doesn't survive on the ground, I don't think. I mean, well, okay, he might survive 5 rounds, but he won't get the best of Islam on the ground. That I'm 100% sure about that. On the stand-up, he's pretty tricky. So one punch can change everything on that. One kick, one punch, one knee. So that's a different story. But on the ground, I don't see him dominating.
Many analysts believe Ian Machado Garry has the attributes needed to create real problems for the reigning champion. His size, movement, striking, and growing confidence have convinced many that this could be one of the most compelling matchups on the UFC 330 card. Rather than viewing it as another routine title defense, many see it as a genuine test of Makhachev's championship reign. Merab Dvalishvili also shared his opinion on the fight, acknowledging that Garry has the talent to compete at the highest level. Still, the biggest question remains the same. Can anyone truly overcome the relentless pressure, elite wrestling, and championship composure that have made Islam Makhachev one of the most dominant fighters in the sport? That's the question every fan will be waiting to see answered once they finally step inside the octagon.
You think he can beat him?
No, I think Islam will get him down, and I think Islam will probably submit him. Like, if you look where SHOCKS had Ian, people can get to him, and if someone like Islam gets to him, it'll be a long night for Ian. But Ian's very tricky. He's very long, rangy, so I think it'll be a very interesting fight, but ultimately I think Islam...
Merab Dvalishvili believes Ian Machado Garry has a legitimate chance to make this fight competitive, provided he follows the right strategy. He praised Garry's movement, technical striking, and unwavering self-belief, explaining that those qualities could present unique problems for Islam Makhachev throughout the fight. At the same time, Merab warned that success on the feet alone won't be enough to defeat the reigning champion. Sooner or later, Garry will have to deal with Makhachev's elite wrestling, relentless pressure, and championship-level composure, an obstacle that has overwhelmed many of the UFC's best fighters. In Merab's opinion, pulling off the upset will require nothing less than a near-perfect performance over the course of the entire fight. Meanwhile, Islam Makhachev's longtime head coach, Javier Mendez, has also welcomed the potential championship showdown, expressing confidence that his team will be fully prepared for whatever challenge Ian Machado Garry brings into the octagon.
It's a win over Carlos just over a year ago. It had to be him.
Oh, Michael Morales.
Nah, he's had greater wins. He's had a higher profile win.
Face him next. Oh, as me. He's not fought someone as fast as me. He's not fought someone who has the distance management, the boxing capabilities, the head movement that I did, but also the takedown defense. He might get me though. I hope he does. Because I want to prove to the world that he can't. I want to prove to the world that I can get back up. I want to prove to the world that I can beat him in his own world. I don't care how long he's trained in that area. I don't care if he's an internationally recognized master of sambo or not. I'm going to bounce him on his skull. I'm going to...
Javier Mendez has spoken highly of Ian Machado Garry, describing him as a skilled and deserving contender who has earned the opportunity to compete for a UFC title. Rather than overlooking the Irish challenger, Mendez acknowledged the progress Garry has made and the level he has reached inside the division. According to Mendez, if Islam Makhachev decides that Garry is his next opponent, their team has no reservations about accepting the fight. They respect Garry's abilities, but remain confident in the preparation, experience, and championship mindset that have defined Makhachev's reign. For Team Makhachev, it's simply another challenge they're ready to embrace.
Million likes on Instagram already. And Ian Garry had this response, and this may change my prediction before I get into Dern versus the other thing and then moving on to the card builder, where I'm going to build the rest of this card. Ian Garry made this response video. And by the end of this 23 seconds of excruciating viewing experience, I may end up picking Makhachev, so watch out. Wait, you can't hear it. You may think yourself lucky, but I didn't actually mean...
According to Javier Mendez, Team Makhachev is fully prepared for whatever challenge lies ahead. While he respects Ian Machado Garry's skill set, Mendez believes the fight will ultimately be decided in the grappling exchanges, where he expects Islam Makhachev to establish control, dictate the pace, and gradually take over the contest. Even so, Mendez has warned against underestimating Garry's striking. He pointed out that in mixed martial arts, one perfectly timed punch, head kick, or flying knee can instantly change the outcome of a championship fight. That's why Team Makhachev isn't preparing for just one scenario. They're building a game plan for every possible situation inside the octagon. Sean Brady also weighed in on the potential matchup, describing it as a fascinating clash between two elite mixed martial artists with completely different styles. In his view, Garry's movement and striking will be tested against Makhachev's relentless wrestling and championship experience, making this one of the most compelling title fights the UFC could put together.